Driving with Christina. We are coming up to a two-way, stopping behind the limit line. And since we are at a blind intersection, as you can see the fence, and then on our right side, a pretty good view, we're going to start to creep out slowly and keep creeping. And once you see a car like that, we need to stop immediately. Look back the other way. Another car, don't move. And this is how you creep out methodically and slowly to get clear views both right and left, looking for pedestrians. And it's time to go. And now it is time to go, and the DMV would like to have you accelerate right up to your speed limits. In this case, it's not posted clearly on Olive, but it is 35. You can tell it's a rather wide residential area, but a 35. We're gonna notice that there is no turning lane on Olive, so be careful. We will turn on to the DMV property, and no cars coming. We're gonna stay on our side of the driveway as if there was a car coming out of the driveways. We are clearly clean of any possibilities, and you'll continue forward to go into a parking stall and check in for your test. And then when they have you come around, you'll come out of a parking stall to lane number 1. You'll end your test over here, and you'll start your test basically from this position, and having to go very slowly, 5 miles an hour, foot on the brake, and navigate the islands where possibly a car might stop you to have to go forward. But basically you want to stay on your side of the driveway here, and as the sign says, make a full stop behind the pedestrian pathway, which is the sidewalk, just like a crosswalk. Have your signal on, and then both lanes have to be clear as you go out into traffic. Even if there's no one in the lane closest to you, which is where we are, and a car went by next to you and passed cleanly, they would fail you for defensively trusting that person. Often you'll turn to the right and make a full stop if it's red, of course, and do that same normal procedure that you know from driver's ed. As we go down, we try to build up our speed because it is a 45, and with that you have a couple of lights to deal with. And you'll notice bike lanes sometimes are wide and sometimes are narrow. But for this example, as we continue straight, there's a narrow area with 200 feet before the corner where you should get at least one tire, even though the whole car won't fit, into the bike lane to turn and make your right-hand turn. Hopefully it's a green light like this, but we want to try to teach you how you can turn right on a red. The truck is definitely doing it correctly, and we are as well. And we will go right there. Let it roll. A little gas out of the turn. They like to see you get back up to speed because it is a 45. And your next turn probably will be, and this varies all the time, at a yield situation, which is the next light. You'll also notice these crosswalks now have little diamond-shaped type arrows where you have to stop behind those to get into a safe position for pedestrians. Here is where you want to see what you have with the lights. If it's red and we're going to be turning right, you want to get your signal on and get in around that area where the telephone pole was, and you're cleanly out of the traffic. And here we do not have a complete go, so we're going to go slowly, looking. No one there, and then we'll exit out by the green marked areas in the bike lane, back into traffic and back to 45. And that is your basic route to start. They take you all over into different subdivisions. Notice one thing: if we're going to turn right here, there's a no turn on red sign, and that is a story in itself that you'll get from the instructors. But for the most part, you'll be headed back to the DMV after a couple of subdivision runs into areas where they'll have you back the car up slowly along a curb. There's no parallel parking, and we'll turn right, which you'll notice this island protrudes out, so be careful of that. Can't tell you how many students have hit it. Here's a great example of not being able to turn right on a red. Quite obvious because there are pedestrians in the crosswalk. Once they clear the crosswalk, as they just did, and no one is coming in either lane, no one is turning on the arrow across the intersection, and no one doing a U-turn possibly on your left side, you're good to go down to the Olive area again, where you have the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit posted and no turning lane on Olive. Those are the critical areas on the test.